Imagine turning on the global news in 2025 and noticing something strange. When Malaysia comes up, the tone feels different. Not dramatic. Not chaotic. Not patronizing. Just calm, curious, sometimes even respectful. And that makes you pause. Because this is not how global media usually treats countries in Southeast Asia. So why does Malaysia get this different treatment in 2025? Stay with me, because the answer is deeper and more surprising than you think. Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you saw Malaysia in international headlines for the wrong reasons? Exactly. That silence isn't accidental. It's strategic. Here's the first twist most people miss. Global media doesn't just report chaos. It reports contrast. And Malaysia, in 2025, has become a rare contrast in a noisy world. While many countries are shouting to be noticed, Malaysia is quietly delivering results. Stable economy. Functioning infrastructure. Cultural balance. No extreme branding, no loud nationalism, no desperation for attention. Media outlets notice that. Think about it. In a time when outrage sells, calm feels premium. Now here's something even more interesting. Malaysia doesn't try to explain itself to the world. It lets the world discover it. International journalists love that. When a country is enforcing a narrative, media feels free to explore it honestly. That's why you see more documentaries, travel features, and business profiles about Malaysia instead of breaking news panic. Quick question for you. Would you rather trust a country that keeps advertising itself, or one that doesn't need to? Another reason global media treats Malaysia differently is because it doesn't fit easy stereotypes. It's Muslim majority, but not extreme. Asian, but not closed. Developing, yet highly digital. Traditional, yet modern. Media outlets struggle to label Malaysia, and when they can't label something, they usually slow down and pay attention. That confusion actually works in Malaysia's favor. Here's a story many people outside Malaysia don't hear. In 2025, Malaysia has become a quiet hub for global talent. Engineers, filmmakers, digital nomads, educators. They come expecting just another Asian country, and leave surprised by how smooth daily life feels. Fast internet. English everywhere. Respectful society. Reasonable costs. That lived experience slowly leaks into global media narratives. And media listens to people on the ground more than governments. Let me pull you back in for a second. Have you noticed how Malaysia is often mentioned positively without being overhyped? That's rare. And it's powerful. Another twist, Malaysia doesn't fight the media. Many countries argue with journalists, restrict access, or overreact to criticism. Malaysia's approach is quieter. Allow access. Stay calm. Correct gently. That creates trust. And when trust exists, global media coverage becomes balanced instead of aggressive. Now here's where pride comes in. Malaysia's diversity isn't just tolerated, it works. Malays, Chinese, Indians, indigenous communities, expats, all functioning in a shared space. Not perfect, but functional. In 2025, when global media is obsessed with social division, Malaysia feels like a reminder that coexistence is possible. That makes journalists curious instead of critical. Let me ask you another breakout question. Why do you think calm countries rarely trend, but always endure? There's also the economic angle. Malaysia doesn't chase headlines with risky moves. It builds quietly. Manufacturing, tech, halal industries, finance, education. Global media treats Malaysia like a reliable background player. And in a world full of volatility, reliability becomes newsworthy. Here's a subtle but important point. Malaysia understands soft power. Food, culture, hospitality, education, tourism, but without forcing it. When foreign journalists visit, they don't feel managed. They feel welcomed. That emotional experience shapes how stories are written. And yes, food plays a role. You laugh, but it's true. Media people remember how a place made them feel. Nasi lemak at midnight. Friendly conversations in English. Safety while walking at night. These details change tone more than press releases ever could. Now let's flip the perspective. Global media also treats Malaysia differently because Malaysia doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It doesn't claim to be the best, the richest, or the most powerful. It presents itself as balanced. That honesty earns respect. Think about how rare that is in 2025. Another mini twist here. Malaysia benefits from regional comparison. When media looks at instability, inflation, political chaos elsewhere, Malaysia stands out without even trying. It becomes the quiet example. And journalists love examples. Quick check-in. Are you seeing how much of this is intentional, without being loud? There's also a generational shift. Younger Malaysian voices are now visible globally. Creators, academics, founders, students. They speak clearly, globally, without sounding defensive. Media outlets respond to that tone. They stop talking about Malaysia and start talking with Malaysians. That shift changes everything. And here's the part that should make you proud. Malaysia didn't change itself to impress the world. The world adjusted its lens to understand Malaysia. In 2025, global media is tired. Tired of crises. Tired of extremes. Tired of noise. Malaysia offers a story of balance, quiet competence, and cultural confidence. So it gets treated differently. Before we wrap up, let me ask you one last question. If more countries acted like Malaysia, calm, open, grounded, how different would global news feel? If this made you see Malaysia in a new way, you already know what to do. Share it with someone who still underestimates this country. And if you have your own experience with how Malaysia surprised you, drop it in the comments. Those stories matter more than headlines. Because sometimes, being treated differently isn't about favoritism. It's about earning a different kind of respect.